Hello, my name is Dr. Chris Grayson. I'm here working at the Wigner Research Center for Physics in Budapest, Hungary. So I'm actually a visiting Fulbright scholar. I came here to present some of my research on plasma physics, and I thought the research they were doing here was very, very interesting. So at the Wigner Institute, I'm currently working at the Naplife Project, which studies laser-generated fusion. Basically, lasers hitting targets, accelerating ions, and producing fusion energy. So this is a very popular topic right now in physics, but the very special thing here is the organization of the actual target that we're shooting at with lasers. So of course, when you build some sort of device, you can structure it so that it performs better. You can make it more efficient by manipulating the microscopic details of whatever device you're using, like say like a computer chip or something like that. And in general, the smaller you make the components of that device, I guess the more efficient you can be. You're structuring it at finer and finer levels. So right now, most of the structuring of these targets that we're shooting lasers at in order to produce accelerated ions to make fusion reactions. Fusion reactions can produce a lot of energy, and so can really open up the world in terms of sustainable energy generation in the future. So most of the work on these fusion projects relies on structuring the devices to create fusion on the, say, meter scale for like a tokamak, or the micrometer scale, which is 10 to the negative 6 meters. So it's like, it's small, but not incredibly small. So we're actually focusing on creating nanoscale structured fusion targets. And that's actually what I thought was very interesting about this project, because if we have the capability to structure the actual thing that we're shooting with the laser on nanoscale, why not? Because the more and more structured we make these targets, the more efficient they could possibly be at causing fusion reactions. So a good example is something like, if you want to start a campfire, you can just put a bunch of logs on the ground and pour gasoline on it and throw a match at it, and it will light on fire. You can get it to light. But perhaps a better way to do it, in a way that you might be more familiar with, is to structure the campfire. So you put a bunch of paper at the bottom, and then you put little sticks on top and slowly build it up with bigger and bigger sticks. And this is actually structuring of the fuel, just like we're doing here with nanostructures. And with this setup, with only a very, very small amount of input energy, you can get a very, very large output in energy, namely like a self-sufficient fire. So this is the very, very basic concept. You can structure the fuel to allow a small amount of energy to cause these very high energy fusion reactions to occur. And so it might also be interesting to know that these lasers that we're using, they have far beyond sufficient energy to actually cause a fusion reaction occur. Even a laser pointer has enough energy to make a fusion reaction occur. It's just that you need to focus that energy. You need to focus that energy in time and focus that energy in space. And so focusing energy in time is a very popular topic these days, using pulsed ultra-fast lasers. So that's the current technology that we're using here as well. But the new technology we have here is we're also focusing the light down to very small sizes. So we're using resonant gold nanorods inside the fusion target, which allow light to be focused past the diffraction limit, which is the normal limitation on how far you can focus down laser energy. And so we're hoping with these two combined advancements to really get the laser energy down in order to actually see some fusion reactions occurring inside these targets, which we believe we are seeing. And so the really interesting thing here is that that I really like about this project is, with a lot of projects in physics, one of the solutions is to throw money at it until it works. And propose very expensive solutions to solve very large problems. And in general, this works. And in the future, these expensive solutions become cheaper and we get scientific progress. But it's also really nice to try to find cheaper methods to solve these issues, like how can we produce fusion from current laser technology. And that's one of the things I really like about this project. It's a very efficient use of research to try to make practical scientific progress. And so that's what led me to come from the University of Arizona in the United States, from the desert, to here in Budapest. Right now we're at KFKI, which is in a very scenic location on top of a mountain just outside of Budapest. And it's a very nice area, as you can probably hear, with all the trees and hear all the birds. So I've really enjoyed my time here.